84% of them happen in October. November is next at 11%. Experts say even adults should really be using those orange pumpkin carving knives because they're a lot safer than a real knife.
Yeah.
For kids under 10, they strongly recommend painting pumpkins instead.
Yeah. I
for the kids under 10.
Liked that better anyway. They last longer.
Or maybe you want to do the carving for them.
Yeah, good idea.
But yeah, teenagers and preteens are most likely to cut themselves. It's those last 3 days leading up to Halloween that we see the most injuries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they always spike on weekends and then the night before Halloween. So that's this coming Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yep. You know it.
But it's the thumb and the index finger.
Uh-huh.
You're most likely to cut. So careful where you put those fingers.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the biggest disadvantage to online dating is that your parents are less involved in helping you find a date. And that was a little joke what I just made there. I couldn't even say that with a straight face.
Yeah, your mother made, you
she had opinions.
She had opinions, but she also wanted you to find a very sweet, God-fearing woman that loved Jesus.
Find a good Christian girl.
And would be just a very... What kind of wife was your mother looking for you?
A subservient,
yes, that's kind
good
of the
Christian
word I was
woman.
thinking. I wasn't sure.
Oh yeah, she's very traditional
so.
in those
beliefs. Yes, in those beliefs. So, I mean, that wouldn't have been horrible for you.
I'll tell you what, there was a girl in church who was very sweet. She was in my youth group, super sweet, just nicest, most boring girl. No, that's not fair. Sweetest person ever.
Yeah.
Really, just a great heart, bubbly personality, great smile.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind as the day is long.
Sure.
And I just knew she wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It just wasn't going to work.
Yeah. Not at that time in your life, anyway.
No.
And
you know what? She went off and married a preacher, lives in Texas now.
Did she really? Yep. Look at that. Because that was your other... plan that your mother had for you. I mean, you would have been good at the pulpit. I could see you up there.
She said, you should take those public speaking skills and use them for Jesus on the pulpit.
Instead of what you're doing here.
Oh, yeah, no, this is the devil's work right here.
Yes, it is.
But, Tinder seems to think that parents can offer some insight, some pretty good advice when it comes to dating. And so Tinder has announced a few new features. One of them is a matchmaking option, which allows you to send profiles to your friends and families to let them weigh in.
Yeah. Now, have you done much of that in your adult life, matchmaking? Have you introduced anybody to anybody thinking that, hey, these two might just...
click?
Yeah.
Well, I introduced you to Clarence.
Oh, God, I don't think that counts.
Well, you had a good time.
Yeah, it was a fun couple hours.
That's pretty much the extent of it. I usually stay out of those things.
Yeah.
And it's because I care about my friends too much.
Mm-hmm.
She is not right for you. What are you talking about? You don't think I'm good enough for her?
Well...
No, I do. Just...
I don't think that she's good enough for you.
You're going to ruin that poor girl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to put yourself in that position. Because I listened to friends on my last 2 relationships, and I should not have. That was a bad move, and I will never forgive either one of them.
Yeah. Or, the friend would land the girl, and I would just be like, oh, don't screw it up. I know you.
Yeah.
I know your history.
Yeah. She's a good catch. Don't mess this up.
Or, brother, I love you, but you're just, I would never say this, but I'd just be thinking, she's just so much more mature than you. And she's going to figure it out.
Well, I think when you have the other person's friends saying to you, do you know what you're getting yourself into? Are you sure you want to do this? You sure it's a good idea? You sure the two of you are a good pair?
Oh.
Yeah, do you really, how well do you really know him?
I know.
That's never a good sign.
Yeah, Rick always kept his mouth shut. I could tell. I could read it.
But you could tell.
Yeah.
Was he pretty spot on in his opinions?
Well, he never really got into it. Like, he would never say it. But I could tell that he just, for whatever reason, he didn't like my first wife.
No? Really? Did he tell you why after?
My mother didn't really either.
Yeah. Did they tell you, did Rick tell you why after?
He might have said, like, well, I had a sense that she, and he would point the finger at her like, she wasn't in it for the long haul or something like that.
Yeah.
It was always like those loaded comments that it's like, what's the use in going there?
Right.
I don't know. Because you're not in the mood to listen. Like, you don't want to hear it. Unless people are supportive in most cases, you're wickedly attracted to someone. You feel like you've got some kind of chemistry, that you're living in this movie dream moment.
What do they know? They're not there all the time. They don't see it.
No, they're not feeling the magic.
Right.
You're not feeling what I'm feeling. They don't see what I see.
Yeah.
But then when it doesn't go, and then you look back on it and you're like, we're right. And then you're just resentful and angry at them.
I know.
For being right. But the idea with this Tinder matchmaking option, they call it the friend test. It allows you to send profiles and friends to family, let them weigh in. And the idea is that, it will help you find out if a potential match passes the friend test and if they get your parents' approval. Friends and family will also be able to recommend matches to you.
That's kind of fun.
Second set of eyes.
I don't know if I'd listen, but it'd be fun just to see.
The people who you invite to weigh in do not have to have Tinder accounts themselves, so that's good.
That's helpful.
And don't worry, they aren't able to do anything on your behalf, including liking profiles or messaging potential dates. I don't know. It is fascinating, though. Like, if you did let go and just trusted the people who know you the best to make a match for you, to attempt a match for you, would it in the long run work out better?
Is there a reality show that does this? Because if not, I'm shocked. With all of the dating reality shows, why isn't there one where the friends and family pick your partner? Where maybe you don't even come into the show until like episode 4. The first 3 episodes are mom and dad and friends and sisters and brothers all meeting all of your potential dates and narrowing it down for you to the 4 that they think would be a great match. And then you come in and start dating them.
Right.
That would be a great reality show.
I don't know. I've kind of gotten sucked into these movies that are directed by this Japanese director who passed away many years ago, but he directed a series of films that were in Japanese. They were shot in Japan and really weren't available to American viewers until decades later. But I got sucked into it because he was the inspiration of this other director who created this movie that I really fell in love with. But anyway, long story short, the premise of most of these movies, a lot of the subplots has to do with matchmaking.
Okay.
In the traditional Japanese sense, where you become a certain age. You, Jennifer, have reached a certain age, and your parents feel that it's time for you to find a husband.
Yes.
And so your parents, through their friends and networks, either through their job or through their friends and other associates, start talking amongst themselves, and they try to come up with someone that would be a good match for you. But usually those are rooted in like, well, he's got a good job and he comes from a good family.
Right.
And, they're about the same sort of income level or social status that we are. So that would be a good match. And let's just hope that they like each other too. Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. And, sometimes she might not really be into the guy, but she knows that it would make her parents happy. And in this culture where,
Yes.
it's all about pleasing mom and dad and not being a burden on the family and stressing them out because you're still living with mom and dad at this age.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is fascinating, but it didn't seem like there was a whole lot of thought into or deference to the happiness of the kids. It was more like, you'll figure it out. You'll fall in love.
Mm-hmm.
Give it time.
Yeah.
And you'll develop a bond
hard.
through all of the challenges.
Arranged marriage. Oh.
Right. Like, is there anything to that? Is there wisdom behind that? Or what about the parents who are just like, listen, I know you better than you know yourself. Known you since you were in diapers.
Yeah.
I know what's best for you.
Ugh. Nope. You may know what it's like to live with me, but
Right.
I don't know.
So anyway, that'll be interesting to see how that feature on Tinder goes with the matchmaking option on Tinder, letting friends and family weigh in.
Yeah.